Well, believe it or not, olives are Sonoma Valley's second crop. We follow the grape harvest. Our harvest is typically October through January. People make an appointment with us. We put their olives in a large hopper. It travels up a conveyor belt, briefly goes through a washing bath cycle, and then they're augured into the hammer mill crusher. There they're crushed whole, and it's turned into a paste, typically the consistency of wet oatmeal. The oil sits in what we call a mixer. It's like a large KitchenAid mixer. It will sit there for 45 minutes to an hour, and after that it is sent to a centrifuge, a two-phase centrifuge where it's spun. The oil obviously has a different gravity than the rest of the waste products. So as it's spinning through the centrifuge, the oil is going one direction and the waste is being augured out to what we call our disposal bin, and we pump it into a tanker truck and it's taken to be composted. So after it's sent through the two-phase centrifuge, it travels over to a polishing centrifuge where the final bits of olive or fruit water that's left is centrifuged out, and out the front of it literally comes extra virgin olive oil. We collect the oil in drums, various containers depending on the yield and the volume that we receive. In terms of a custom crush customer, which is what we do a lot, we give them back their oil in bulk, and then people either bottle it or literally give it away or sell it to restaurants in bulk. Here at the Olive Press, we have our own brand, the Olive Press brand, and we store it in 55-gallon drums, and then we bottle as needed. So throughout the year, we make enough for 1 year's production, and throughout the year, we bottle each day, probably only 10 to 20 cases per day as our needs arise. The community press is a great day. We were the first to start it in Sonoma County 12 years ago when we first opened our doors. We decided that we were going to be like the little villages in the south of France or Italy and invite people in the village, so to speak, to bring their olives in on public community days. People who have 1 or 2 or 3 trees in their yard who would like to pick their olives on the scheduled dates arrive throughout the day with their buckets and their barrels with their little harvest, and we put everyone in together. So throughout the day as we collect it, we continue to mill the olives, and whatever portion you brought in, whatever the weight was, based on the final yield, you get your ratio or percentage back in olive oil. For me, to be able to grow a product and not have to alter it in any way, shape, or form. You take this glorious ancient food, this beautiful fruit, and you put it in literally one end of a machine, and as it crushes it and sends it through to the centrifuge, you end up with this glorious liquid that is the healthiest fat that you could consume or put in your body, and with no alterations, no chemicals, no processing, no heat. To me, it doesn't get any better than that.